Hello, I'm Blaine Peterson, and this is Jerry Shiles. We're attorneys with Parman and Easterday Law Firm, specializing in estate planning and elder care. And today we wanted to share a little bit of information with you regarding trustees' responsibilities to trust beneficiaries. Often we are contacted by the children or successor trustees after one of our clients has passed away or become disabled, and they often have two questions. Number one, they want to know what are their responsibilities to the beneficiaries, and number two, what information should they share with the beneficiaries?
And that's a really good point, because to answer that first question, what are our responsibilities to the beneficiaries, it really comes down to the trust itself, because every trust is different. It's a contract, it lays out the terms that trustee is going to be bound by, and so it's important to study that right up front. What do we want to know about that? We want to know, what does it say about who the beneficiaries are? What does it say about distributions? Are funds to be distributed outright? Are they to be distributed over time? Or is it a discretionary trust, a family access trust, or a family settlement trust? So we need to know what the terms of the trust are before we can properly advise that trustee.
Including, does the trust require distribution of any income, all the income, just a share or percentage of the income? Is it limited to the income, or does it include principal? Can the principal be distributed for health, education, support, maintenance of the accustomed manner of living, or some other ascertainable standard? Or is it an incentive trust in which the beneficiary has to reach certain goals or actions prior to distributions being made?
Right, and the key thing that we tell every trustee is you have to comply with those instructions. You're not an independent arbitrator out there. Your role is to do whatever that original creator of the trust wanted done. So if you act contrary to those instructions, you put yourself at risk. You can be sanctioned, you can be removed, or you can even have financial responsibility. So it's important to know, number one, what your role is, and number two, to comply with that role.
And as to the second question, what do we share with the beneficiaries? That obviously depends on the terms of the trust, but even so, there's still certain terms or certain information you have to share regardless of what's contained in the trust document.
Exactly, and we want to be sure that we're talking to a beneficiary. Quite often we'll get a phone call, a trustee will call us and say, well, Fred's Uncle Mary called up and wants some information. Well, is she a beneficiary? Because you don't owe any duty to anybody who's not named as a beneficiary. And what's a beneficiary? It's someone who is entitled to enforce the terms of that trust. There's some economic benefit coming to them. And if they're entitled to that, then our goal is to share information freely. We're not trying to hide anything. We want them to know what the trust terms are. We want them to know what the assets are. We want them to know what the provisions are for administering the trust, and a timeline on when we anticipate being able to distribute those assets.
So what does this mean? It means simply letting the beneficiaries know of the trust's existence and some of the general specifics regarding the trust administration, including when they can expect distributions to be made. So in general, a trustee has three primary goals or duties in this respect. Number one, they need to inform the beneficiaries of the existence of the trust, of their status as a beneficiary, and their concerns that they have with respect to the trust administration. Secondly, the trustee is required to inform them of any significant changes to the trust. And finally, inform them of significant developments with respect to the trust administration that they need to know to protect their interests.
Exactly. So if you have questions about your duties as a trustee or what your responsibilities might be, contact us. We can schedule a free consultation and go over those with you and ensure that you head down the road in the right direction, doing what you're supposed to do and avoiding problems in the future. Thank you. I'm Jerry Shiles. This is Blaine Peterson with Parman and Easterday. We appreciate you listening.